usamos estampillas también.
You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
Violent people.
Radio.
Welcome to Violent People Radio, episode number 70. I'm joined, as always, by Pat. Pat, how's it going?
It's going all right.
I'm also with Chris. Chris, how's it going?
Oh, always doing swell.
And we are continuing our search for a replacement for Sam with Cole. How's it going, Cole?
It's going good. Thanks for having me on.
Now, Pat and Chris, how long ago did we know that for these 2 weeks Sam wouldn't be on?
He was telling us in like
sometime now.
March.
I think, Cole, did I ask you last night?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I want people to know the kind of operation they're dealing with here. I asked you right around when I was like, I need to watch wrestling. I am on a wrestling podcast once a week. And then I was like, I wonder who's on it. I should figure that out.
I mean, we're still doing better than I listened to the latest episode of the Nick Maniwa. I always want to say it like it's Japanese, but Nick Maniwa and Reed Bentley podcast. And I think it has been 3 years since the previous episode of that.
I was going to say, I thought that didn't exist anymore.
No, they did. They just did a new episode. So maybe, and then like a year and a half, there will be another one.
All right. How was it?
Oh, it was good. If you like, I don't know about you guys. Have you guys ever heard of this thing, IWA Mid-South?
No.
Sounds interesting.
So it was my first time ever hearing about it. And they were telling stories about this guy, Ian. And, oh, man, what a fucking weird guy. Can't believe he hasn't come up more in wrestling before.
He sounds great. What was I going to say? So you have a lot of podcast news to bring us because you listen to this, and you sounded like you want to save it for the big top, but I am going to be embarrassed to admit I don't know anything about it. I want to get right into it. What is going on with the Knight family and Lou Nixon? Like, I know.
Okay, so this isn't
nothing.
This isn't podcast stuff. This is Facebook stuff. This is
embarrassing that I don't know it. Yeah.
Yeah. This should be all over. Well, I don't know if it would be on Deathmatch Elite because it's not deathmatch stuff, but so the Knight family did a big show in, I think, Norwich, England. WAW Frightmare or Fightmare or something like that. And it's their big thing of the year to the point that Paige, aka Saraya, aka Shimmer's own Brittany Knight, flew out to be part of it. And one of the guys working it is Lou Nixon, who I think longtime listeners of the show will remember as the guy who got kicked off of one of the Bloodsport cards and complained about it on Twitter. And he was also on the latest English Bloodsport show that no one watched. But anyway, so he's there, and I'm going to be upfront that this is a story that I think I have to truncate into 30 seconds because both sides of it told it in the most rambling way. Basically, Lou showed up, and one of the medical staff took a look at him and said, hey, this guy might be high. And they still let him wrestle anyway. And then he got into it with members of the Knight family over whether or not he was supposedly high. And then he did a long vlog about it, basically complaining about the experience, saying, I don't know if you guys have ever watch these, like 15-minute long wrestler vlog things, but he can't tell a story in 2 minutes. It has to go in 15 directions, and you lose the details in listening to it. You forget like what the point of the story was. You forget the details of it. And then you have two people each doing that with one side, with their own sides of the story. And I'm not really sure what happened other than Lou Nixon got accused of being high by the Knights, and he is now yelling at them on Facebook and calling Roy Knight a sex offender, which I think is true. Meanwhile, Saraya did her own 15-minute thing, rambling at him, accusing him of being high, saying he was on coke, and just a total mess. And I'm waiting to see if this boils over and becomes like the new drama nexus of British wrestling, because I feel like it's been a few years since we've had drama in the Brit Rest world.
Now, I will say, I'm trying to, as you speak, I'm pulling up some stuff. I mean, Lou Nixon has at least 2 videos on his YouTube about it. He also did an appearance on Off the Rails
with Jasmine St. Clair. I didn't get a chance to listen to that.
St. Clair, yes. And it appears that he just called in. He's not FaceTiming in because he may appear high.
I mean,
actually, it looks like maybe. Oh man, I'm scrolling through this. Oh no, I was gonna say that she's just holding a. Oh, go ahead.
His YouTube channel is called Chat Shit Get Baked, and the logo of it is him smoking a joint. So
it's still undecided.
I think the root of it is that he is probably a man who enjoys marijuana, and the Knights, who are big sober people nowadays. Paige is sober, Roy Knight is sober, and they're all about that. I think they got potentially a little too proactive in being like, you can't have this stuff around here. This is a family show, blah, blah, blah. And then that spiraled. But I'm really not sure, because both sides of the story sound really shady and like they're trying to get one over.
I'm definitely going to dive into this because, like I said, he's on this Off the Rails podcast, and it appears, I'm not listening to it, obviously, that in the middle of interviewing Lou Nixon, for some reason, Jasmine is calling Missy Hyatt on her phone and holding her phone up on speaker during the interview. So there's lots of stuff I need to dive into here. I'm actually embarrassed, man. I haven't watched all of the newest Cost of the Canvas.
I completely forgot to watch it again. God damn it!
So I don't have an Elgin update.
What year of his life is he up to?
I can't imagine that he's a grown man yet with the speed. Like, that's at the speed they tell stories at. There's no way he's an adult yet. It's good stuff. I tried to watch a little of it live, but believe it or not, I can't actually block out randomly Sunday nights whenever Elgin decides it's gonna go live.
But Elgin is a good thing to bring up, because when I'm trying to get across like the way that they tell stories, it just drifts around and you forget what they were trying to. It's how Elgin tells stories, and when Elgin sits in front of a camera and is trying to explain away why someone else was wrong but not him. And it just everything gets lost in all these details that don't need to be added to the story. So imagine 2 Michael Elgins. Also, Ricky Knight sounds like a zombie now. Like, not like in terms of someone like on Thorazine or something. He sounds like like that's how he talks now.
Oh man. Now, the Saraya, I was going to ask if she still has a podcast, but she definitely does, because it's going to be on.
She does. It's going to be on the Jericho Cruise,
which I think we're going to discuss later. I do have Cost of the Canvas episode 2 pulled up, and I haven't watched it yet on YouTube. It's actually when I discovered that YouTube was down a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I was going to try to cram it in before the episode. But the very first comment is, I'm a huge fan of your story. I just pray to God after this series you can move forward and forget it. These are his fans.
Awesome.
His fans are like, you're great. Hey, please stop talking about this.
I will say, to follow on something that we had discussed previously when you talked to Elgin and said, "Oh, hey, you were in Mickey Knuckles' book." I almost said Missy Hyatt's book. But the thing there, Reed Bentley and Nick, they talk about how much sex was had on the IWA MS ring canvas.
Oh my God.
So if that doesn't get you, they also had, there's an entire story about Too Cold Scorpio that they just conspicuously edit out of the podcast. Reed is starting to tell a story, and then Too Cold Scorpio's music plays for a minute, and then, they just back to it like, well, we had to edit that out.
Anytime a wrestler has to edit a story out, it's terrifying because of the things they don't
Yeah.
think are bad to share.
The part that they leave in is that they're going over a match while Too Cold Scorpio is sitting there buck naked on a bench in the locker room. That's the part they can keep in. Everything else had to go.
Oh my goodness.
It was a very entertaining listen while I worked today.
This is that's great. Imagine something like your earplugs disconnect, people get to hear what you're listening to. Biggest nightmare.
Yeah, so our listeners, let us know how that goes for you.
Cole, as the guest, have you been watching any interviews with wrestlers or listening to any wrestler podcasts?
No, I'm like so out on wrestling right now. I've like
have you ever even watched?
attention.
Have you even watched any wrestling recently?
I meant to for the show, and then YouTube was down, so I haven't seen anything.
Okay, YouTube's only been down for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh man, I gotta cram in Necro versus Judge Joe Dredd, and then I couldn't.
I can't wait to unveil the big top 2. You're just really the perfect guest for this show. You have not watched wrestling, haven't thought about wrestling, don't like wrestling.
Wrestling pisses me off.
As it should. What about you, Chris? Have you watched any wrestling since last week?
I have watched one show.
All right.
And I have watched. You may have heard that there was a new Lucha Roundup last week.
People are talking about it.
All kinds of people are talking about it, and I've got to say, movie, like, you know how it works when you're done with March, you gotta move to April. That's what they say, and that's what I did. And I watched the Lucha Memes show that they ran with CMLL from April 12th. And would you believe if I said it was a very good show?
I think I believe it.
That sounds true.
Lots of fun matchups. You've got Virus versus Flystar, Stigma versus Demus, Ario and Mercurio versus Argus and Gaius. There's a big tornado. There's a trios match with Rey Apocalypsis and Siki Ozama and Guerrero Mayo Jr. against the Karmas and Magnetico. Ultimo Guerrero versus Rey Espartano. And then the two probably marquee matches for our sake are Hechicero versus Solar and Negro Navarro versus Xiaohua.
Oh yeah.
Especially since we don't have our anti-Xiaohua former co-host on the show.
I was just thinking this would have been the week to watch a ton of Neon matches.
Yeah, Neon is in the big tornado. He is the one maybe there's another CMLL guy in there. But he's the only major one. Otherwise it's just a bunch of Lucha Memes guys that didn't get showcase matches Lunatic Extreme and Lunatic Fly, Mr. Mike, Ryu, stuff like that. And yeah, it's a very fun show, very easy watch. Was a little disappointed in the Aereo and Mercurio versus Argus and Gaius match. I thought that was just fine. The Tornado has fun moments. It's not incredible. The Rey Espartano match with Ultimo Guerrero. Ultimo Guerrero is definitely in house show mode. He's in Puebla. He's not doing more than he needs to. But I mean, there's some fun interactions there. It's not like offensive or anything.
He's not in MLW. That's when he really brings it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everything else very fun, very good. You got Virus doing Yaves with Flystar, Stigma and Demus rough each other up a bit. Negro, Navarro, and Showa, you're definitely getting like you love Showa like working with an old dude who like hopefully one day he'll even be like a quarter as good as Negro Navarro, and I'm not saying that as a hater like Sam. I'm saying that as a Negro Navarro is one of the all-time greats.
There's a Dr. Cerebral and Solar versus Negro Navarro and somebody else tag match from September. I just added to my list to watch, and I haven't got to it yet. And I'm like, man, Negro Navarro, he's just not showing up as taping as much this year. I was like, oh, he is 68 years old.
Yeah, I always think that when I'm starting the roundups and I'm like, all right, what all made tape? And they're like, damn, I'm not seeing a lot of Solar or Negro Navarro here.
They're senior citizens.
They're old as shit.
It's okay that they've only wrestled like a dozen matches this year. And actually, they probably wrestled way more. They just happen places that'll never get listed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not even Lucha DB is picking them up.
Yeah, I literally this was this last week that I added that match, and I was like, man, I gotta see why I haven't seen more Negro Navarro. I was like, because he's 68 and he's not wrestling as much.
And the easy highlight, I don't think it'll surprise you, but Hechicero and Solar match of the show. Unlike Showa, where it's like, all right, like let's one day you'll maybe be like a fraction of as good as Negro Navarro. Hechicero very much on Solar's level as an all-time great at this point. Just like fantastic grappling. If you're into Yaves, like if you're into good, technically sound lucha libre, can't recommend it enough. Like Solar, he is old as shit. He's almost 70. But he's still got it. Like you get in there with someone who can go hold for hold with him, and it's magic. I also watched the 2012 Royal Rumble, and maybe you'll find more about that in the near future.
I think it'd be really cool if we just discussed it in detail now for like 40 minutes.
That I would not do that because I actually bailed on Porrick this morning. I had a very bad morning. I had a panic attack. I've not had a great week mental health wise. And so I was just like, there's no way I can do 2 podcasts today. Especially one like early in the day where I'm just like wiped. And so that would be a disservice. But next soon you will hear my thoughts. Yeah, I mean I had like all day to like rest and take a nice walk, and
that's good. I was gonna compare my bad morning, but it was just like I had an itchy throat. So like not exactly the same thing, but
I mean that's rough too. It's that season. It's getting cold.
I'm gonna go ahead and launch in and go before Pat about what I've been watching because it kind of segues off my Negro Navarro searches. I also at the same time was like, I haven't been watching a lot of Ricky Marvin. What is like that makes me sad. What has he been doing this year? And it turns out, dude just went on vacation. Like sometime in April, he was wrestling in Portugal, And then soon after that, he was wrestling in where did this one take place? Romania. And then he was in France, England, Spain, Germany. So it's like that dude just spent 2 months in Europe. And a surprising amount of it seems to have made tape. The two that I watched were his match in Portugal was against Red Eagle, who seems to run the promotion there in Portugal. It takes place in this like beautiful alleyway between two buildings, and I'm not good at guessing how many fans are there, but it's an alleyway. Like it's not a lot of space, so there can't be that many. But Red Eagle's like I think the owner of the promotion and runs it, so he's over. That makes sense. But then Ricky Marvin is somehow super over. I don't know if he's been back in this promotion in the past because they don't really have a cage match, so I couldn't tell you. But there's like Mexico versus Portugal chants. There's Ricky Marvin chants. And it's just freaking awesome. This promotion also brought in Marty Scurll to face Red Eagle, and that match went over 30 minutes. If you guys want to check that out, I'm gonna guess it was worse than this. But it's like Ricky again. I think he wanted to be the heel, but he's also both of these guys are super over. So it's just a pretty basic match. But it was awesome to watch Ricky Marvin. And then this one surprised me that for Romania Pro Wrestling in Transylvania, he faced Ring of Honor's LSG, and this fucking ruled. Just lots of fun spots. Both guys having a blast, but also just killing each other. Like just all the strikes are just landing so stiff and so hard. I don't remember how long it was, but towards the end they go through a bunch of false finishes, and I bought like hard on like 3 of them where I was like, oh well, it's over, and then like kick out, and I was like, oh my god, we're still going. And I know I've seen a fair amount of LSG, but like he doesn't stick out of my mind at all, and he was awesome in this. So and then I also watched part of a match Ricky Marvin had in Hong Kong last year. It was no good, so I stopped watching it. It was against Mikey Mann. Besides that, I watched right before this when YouTube came back up, Brody King and Darby Allin against Timothy Thatcher and Kieran Gray. This was night 2, the night of this awesome championship wrestling. This, I guess, is what Cage Match is saying. Is that it's the promotion that put on Steve Borden Jr. Debut, where it was Allin and Cross versus JD Drake and Steve Borden. I don't think that's online, or at least I didn't watch it. But this was the second night, and this was fun as hell. I don't know who Kieran Gray is. I think from when I was searching, he seems like he's a newer wrestler. It's very random he's in this, but Brody King and Darby Allin, awesome tag team, and Timothy Thatcher, one of the best in the world. Is going to be talking about again some of the other stuff I watched. It's going to be super high on my 2025 list. Darby's a maniac. He takes just crazy bumps. He does the coffin drop off of like this like pillar that he climbs up. Just super fun. And then like, you know, surprising that this match could happen just because of Timothy Thatcher's WWE connections, and Brody King and Darby Allin beat AEW guys. And I was like, oh, no one talked about it. That's weird. And I searched in Discord just now, and I guess someone on Discord posted it like the day after it went up, but more people should watch it. It was awesome. And then the final thing I watched is I have to talk a little tourney for you guys. I watched Bound for the Floor tournament put on by Beyond Wrestling. Now, I'm going to start by talking shit on this tournament because it features Timothy Thatcher, Drew Gulak, Tracy Williams, Matt Mako, Darren Bankston, Alex Reynolds, Ryan Clancy, and Joseph Alexander. And I got spoiled of what the finals was before I started this, so I came in really upset. The finals, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, is Ryan Clancy versus Alex Reynolds.
Welcome to Beyond Wrestling.
I was fucking furious. Like I came in, like I was so ready to watch this, and Tim actually messaged me the second it went up, but I didn't have time to watch it. And then fucking Twitter was like, "Hey, I bet you're interested." It was like the top tweet on my thing when I opened it. I was like, "It's like check out the main event." I was like, "Fuck!" And it was so hard to get myself to watch it, but I still did. I was like, "All right, well, I mean, I'm still gonna get to watch Thatcher versus Gulak. Let's get into it." And that's the first match of the show, and it's tremendous. I mean, it's just great shit. They say they haven't wrestled a singles match in like a decade, which is crazy to think about. And I mean, if you loved all the stuff before, you're gonna love this. There's a point where Gulak kind of loses, like they're doing some grappling, but he clearly like is like lost, and it's about to look. You think it's about to look bad, but then he just like sits up and just starts chopping and slapping the shit out of Thatcher. It's just like, oh, I don't know what hold I was supposed to do there, so I'll just hit you repeatedly in like, the side and the face, and just good shit. Everything looked painful as hell. Thatcher won that, and then the next match was Ryan Clancy against Joseph Alexander. I don't know if I've seen Alexander before. He didn't stick out if I have. And I usually mock Ryan Clancy, and I didn't like his match with Thatcher whenever he had that, last month or whenever it was. But I have to be fair, and he was awesome in this. He does at one point kill Alexander with like a elbow that hits so hard that it's stupid that the match goes on. Like the finish is not really compared to that. And then Alex Reynolds has a match against Matt Mako, and this kind of sucks. I don't have times for these, but it felt like the longest match of the night. I'm sure it wasn't, but Alex Reynolds is like a heel with a capital H. Like he's like, I'm doing heelish things and I'm cheating. But he can't get his feet up on the ropes in time for what's supposed to be feet on the ropes finish. So it's like you can't even do the shitty heel thing right. The final first round match is Darren Bankston versus Tracy Williams. And I've been hot and cold on Bankston before, and Tracy makes all of his stupid little, cutesy little submission holds look awesome. Bankston, that kind of was like a subtle heel at times, and Tracy, like, he looks in great shape. And I talk about it every time I watch one of those matches that he randomly has. Like, this guy should be getting booked every weekend. Just looks so great. And of course, it's beyond. So Darren Bankston went over. Semifinals, Thatcher versus Clancy. This was short, but I thought much better than their previous match. Clancy's been, the whole tournament, he has like a shoulder injury. It's like his running thing. He wins with a big drop kick. This was fine. Alex Reynolds versus Darren Bankston. This was fairly awful. I don't like either of these guys. And then afterwards, actually, I take that back. After the Reynolds match, or the Clancy match, Reynolds ran out and attacked him, and something like that. I don't know. There's something where Ryan Clancy gets injured more. I don't know. It got stupid at the end. And then Ryan Clancy versus Alex Reynolds was a fine match. It was Alex Reynolds' best match of his 3 matches. But the thing is, you don't have to have 3 Alex Reynolds matches. That's a choice you're actively making. So that's why, like, at first I was like, oh man, that was by far his best one of the 3. But it was like, what? He could have just lost in the first round, and any of these other wrestlers could have went on, and it would have been much better. And yeah, so I can't recommend it. I mean, if this was a Talking Tournament episode, I would say that there are some through lines, like they do follow logical tournament booking, which I like, and you would think would be fairly common in wrestling. But as a tournament expert, I can tell you it's not. They love to do fucking stupid shit that doesn't make sense. And this clearly, like, they wanted Ryan Clancy to be a big baby face, to, have his shoulder injury and still come out on top. And so I admire that. But outside of that, you really just need to check out Thatcher Gulak and Williams Bankston were like the 2 that I would say you have to go out of your way to see. But that is literally every match I watched.
Did you come away from it saying, oh man, beyond wrestling, they're heating up?
Oh yeah. Actually, I came away with it. Like I said, I was excited to watch the tournament, and then I saw that preview, or I got spoiled and I was pissed. But even then, I go on IWTV and I'm like, oh, the Wrestling Open the next day has Thatcher, Bobby Orlando, and it has Sinner and Saint, and it has like I said, it has a Bear Bronson, Ryan Clancy tag team. Like maybe I'll like that. Maybe I'll check into that after this. I didn't even think about that. I was like, no, fuck that. Fuck that. They made me watch 3 Alex Reynolds matches. So that is all I watched. What about you, Pat? What did you get into?
So I checked in on King of the Death Matches winner Arrow Boy. He just did, this is my mini Lucha Roundup for October 2025. Arrow Boy versus Ciclope, Miedo Extremo, and El Majo from Invasion Indy. And, it's just it's a 4-way match where they just bust a lot of skinny light tubes. It's fine. Ciclope at one point does an Asai moonsault to the outside and catches his foot on the guardrail in such a way that it's a genuine miracle he did not snap his leg in half. But other than that, it really struck me that, like, working third from the top on a random show in Arena Neza, the crowd is like 4 times what the crowd was for King of the Death matches. And it was just kind of a stark thing to be like, wow, this is a show headlined by Cuervo Scoria and Spiritu versus the Hell Brothers, or I should say Los Hell Brothers. Like, this is a crowd that's here to see, fucking old guys. And they turned out so much more than the deathmatch fans in Indianapolis. But speaking of deathmatch shows with small crowds, I also watched both nights of GCW Fight Club, and I drove to Atlantic City for the second night.
Oh yeah.
So night 1, I'm not even going to bother like talking about matches like Man Like the Rice versus KJ Orso, because who cares? We had Beastman versus one called Manders, which I'm a known Beastman hater. This did nothing to sway me on that. There was a great spot in it where Beastman picked up Manders to do a fall-away slam and then couldn't get him up for the fall-away slam, so he just kind of fell backwards into a pile of chairs. It just looked like they fell over. Beastman, don't know what he has on promoters that gets them to keep booking him. Maybe it's just that he works for $20. I don't know. There was also an intergender match with Otis Koger versus Emerson Jane, which really, really good because 1, they did some ridiculously unsafe shit. And 2, it turns out Otis Koger works really well. I mean, he's a big guy, but he's a big guy in the way that like indie wrestlers are big guys, where he's probably, 5'9" tops. But if you put him against Emerson Jane, who is, like a 5'4" Scottish woman, he can throw her around like it's like Takeshita versus Darby Allin from AEW. You know what I mean? Like that kind of like ragdoll stuff. And in a death match, that looks really fucking cool. So that was easily the match of night 1.
Yeah, you're being very generous with that 5'9" for Otis.
Yeah. I didn't want to, I don't want Otis Koger getting mad at me. I want him to like me. He seems like a cool guy. Most indie wrestlers do. You know what we say around here: good wrestler, better person. But yeah, no, that was the match of the night. There's one point where Emerson gives Otis a German suplex into like a Tokyo Tower. And for some insane reason, Otis turns his head during it, like to the side. And I can't tell if it's just the angle of the camera. It looks like he went into those tubes face first. And I can't tell if that's like something he did on purpose to be like a deathmatch extreme dude, or if that was just like the unluckiest impact of all time. But it made for great watching. What did not make for great watching was the main event, the Art of War Games with Juggalo Championship Wrestling versus Game Changer Wrestling. So we had the teams of Matt Tremont, Bam Sullivan, which I got to say, I'm amazed Bam Sullivan made it into the match, because I thought for sure when they announced Bam Sullivan was going to be in the main event, War Games, I'm like, oh, so he's definitely getting beaten up and someone else is taking his spot. No, he's just in the match. Matt Tremont, Bam Sullivan, Mr. Danger, Drew Parker, and Effie versus Cocaine, Shane Mercer, Willie Mack, Too Tough Tony, and Madman Pondo. So this is a work rate classic from all involved. And they do the full, to their credit, they do the full War Games, double ring, cage walls. They had panes of glass suspended over one of the cages so that people could jump through them. But winning it was a pain in the ass because they did the Clockwork Orange House of Fun thing, or like Lethal Lockdown thing, where they had weapons all over the cage. And it's GCW. They have like one hard cam and one roaming cam, and it's like just a pain in the ass to watch. The high point of the match is Too Tough Tony goes for the meteorite. He lights his hand up. And the idea is that he's trying to punch. Violent J is holding Tremont for it. Tremont ducks out of the way. Too Tough Tony hits Violent J with a meteorite. Violent J has so much gel in his hair that his head went up like a Roman candle. So JCW has now lit 2 wrestlers on fire this year, one of whom is the owner. If you watch any part of the match, just watch Violent J getting his head set on fire. That is the fun part. So then we roll on to night 2. I drove 6 hours for this. I'm gonna let you guys think about what that means for me in my life, that I drove 6 hours for Game Changer Wrestling. But deathmatch, Tremont and Bear Bronson versus Emerson Jane, Shotzi Blackheart. Same principle as the Emerson and Otis Cogar matches. Big people throwing around little people is a match that I like. I like matches where the little guy ragdolls for the big guy. And this was just a tag team match of that. So that was fun. Tremont, I don't care what anyone else says. He is in contender for Wrestler of the Year. His body is actively failing him, but goddamn if he isn't having a great year. There was a very So what do we think of Shane Mercer? We know he's into black magic. We know he uses his powers on women. What do we think of Shane Mercer as a wrestler?
I have enjoyed Shane Mercer in the past.
So Shane Mercer's another guy for me where he's like Otis Cogar, where he's a big guy, but he's like an indie wrestling big guy. Mr. Danger is skinny and small even by the standards of indie wrestling. So they were doing insane shit. Like Shane Mercer is just picking him up and chucking him around. And they were doing stuff. It was almost like what's the fucking Roderick Strong move where he throws the person up and they have to kind of like do a flip in the air to like make the move work. It was like that kind of thing, but then in the middle of doing it, Shane just holds a light tube in his path. So Mr. Danger flips and just smashes through this. Like they were finding ways that I had not previously seen to hurl a human body at light tubes. Really fun. If you check out one match of night 2, check out Mr. Danger versus Shane Mercer. I know that everyone who listens to the show knows that Shane Mercer is into some evil black magic shit and is like possessing people online or whatever. But try to look past that. Main event is the Cogar and Christian Napier versus Charles Mason, Cruel, and Slade. And I need to go back and watch this on tape because in person, they were just brawling all over the place. You couldn't, if one thing was happening near you with inside of you, 2 other crazy things were happening past your field of view. So I got to go back and watch the whole thing. But I will say, MLW champion, Mads Cruel Kruger, he won the match single-handedly after being tased a bunch of times. After, he had all 3 Vandal 48 guys beating the shit out of him with chairs, and he still gets the pin. And then they continue trying to murder him with just chair shot after chair shot, light tubes, everything. It made Cruel look like the most badass wrestler on the planet. I think I said in the Violent People Discord, Dan Rice would be proud, and I think he would be.
He is the most badass wrestler, so that's good to hear.
He was also the guy when I got there. I got there early enough that like I'm one of the not one of the first people in, but close to one of the first people in. The other wrestlers, like their gimmick tables are set up, but they're not at the table. Cruel is right there. You could tell he was just standing there, for however long it took, waiting for the doors to open so that he could start selling, his merch and photos and action figures.
Fucking worker right there.
Yeah, no, and he hung out there as long as he could before he had to go backstage for like the show to start. It made me think of all the stories of the Young Bucks like fishing their matches and then just running right to the merch table.
Oh, in AIW, Ethan Page would I swear he would roll out of the ring after the pin, hop the rail, and go to his pit table.
Yeah, that's like Cruel was kind of the reverse of that, where it's just like he was there from the minute the show opened until the very last moment he could. He was there making that money.
Now, can we talk about the picture you sent the founders? Where did we get the picture with Wrestler of the Year, Matt Tremont?
Oh, that was after night 2. That was after the show had ended and the wrestlers were coming out to do their stuff.
Now, do you know this? I think I'm just looking at this picture. You're older than Matt Tremont.
100%, yeah.
It's so crazy.
How old is Matt Tremont? I know I'm older than him.
I think he's 37. I think he's exactly my age.
Well, that's
I go through this so often, where I'm like, that guy's a grandpa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't live the indie wrestler life, so it doesn't age me. But yeah, Matt Tremont, I can safely say, I'm taller than everyone at GCW except Cruel, and I'm 5'11". Like my driver's I'm not a tall guy, but I was kind of blown away. I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize GCW is small ball wrestling.
Well, that's like I said when you talked about Otis Kodor's height. I'm like, I've been in the same room as Otis. I'm taller than Otis. I'm 5'9", and that's I'm exactly 5'9" if I'm 5'9".
I walked past him as I walking towards the venue, and it's like to be like, I think that was Otis Cogar, and I'm like, good lord, he came up to my shoulder.
Well, it's helped that he's usually side by side with his brother, who I think is 4'11". Like Atticus is tiny.
Yeah. Atticus and Christian are little guys, but from the littlest of guys spring the biggest of ideas.
All right. Did you watch any other wrestling since then?
Probably, but who knows?
All right.
Nothing that I want to talk about as much as or GCW or Arrow Boy.
Yeah, we can't. I'm just waiting for that next MLW show, like the rest of us. Which, after I said that, I think is this weekend.
I was excited. They announced they're bringing back Spin Make the Deal for Shotzi Blackheart's House of Horrors in Rochester, New York.
And Shotzi Blackheart just running the shit. It's always the best.
So we're gonna have to really push on Sam because this is his neck of the woods.
Oh wait, no, 1025 is the next MLW is the following weekend. My bad. All right. Well, the only thing to come to the site since our last podcast is the aforementioned Chris's Lucha Roundup. It's a buzz. People are talking about it. Now, I will say, if I go to the hits and I go last 30 days, the Death Panel, which has been up longer, and Chris Lucha Roundup, both doing very respectable numbers in my opinion. Both of them cannot touch, for some reason, the undefeatable world's most dangerous retrospective, Ken Shamrock versus Don Fry. It's just it's the hits king.
It's everyone's the names that are on everyone's lips nowadays are Ken Shamrock and Don Fry.
It is it's now officially, I don't know when this happened. It's now officially the most viewed page on our site that's not a homepage or the Hockenschmidt footage. It just slowly but surely by just getting
we gotta figure
hits
out
every month.
What specific combination of words are in that article that is pulling bots to it.
First off,
Or
it's
like
all organic.
who fed
real
that
traffic.
URL into like an AI trainer thing?
Yeah, and it's like it's not even like say if it was like a guest, it's like maybe I think maybe they're pimping it somewhere, but it's me, Sam, and Chris. I know we're not out there sharing this link. That's just it's an all-time favorite. Coming to the site, I've been teasing it for a month, and I'm like 95% done. I'm gonna have a Dory Dixon piece on the site before you hear me talk again. Putting it out there for sure. I just need to put it on there, add some links, add some pictures. We'll be good to go. I'm sure Koro will do his thing, and Sam has something ready to go, but I guess they're on vacation from all aspects of the site. You guys ready for some Big Top?
All right.
So Cole, I ask you to be a guest weeks and weeks in advance, and you watch no wrestling, and I say, well, you are the guest host, possibly full-time replacement of Sam. What would you like the Big Top to be, and what did you choose?
Predictions for the 2025 to 2026 NBA basketball season. Because
Hell yeah.
Porig posted his rankings of how he thinks every team is going to do yesterday in the sports chat, and I got really fucking mad. So,
Okay.
bring it here.
All right. How do you want to approach this? Do you want to team by team tell me how you think we'll talk about how we think they're going to do? And if I think that's the way to do it. And if so, should I go by how they finished last year or should I go by Porik's list?
We should go by Porig's list.
That's the right way to do it. Okay. We'll start in the East. This is, I think, the worst but more exciting conference is what I'll say.
Yeah.
He has in last place in the East. They finished last year with a record of 26-56. The Brooklyn Nets.
That's like probably true, right? Like, because they, even with like how bad they did last year, then they had like a fire sale and got rid of like everybody.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like I feel like this is one of the teams in NBA where if you showed an average fan the starting lineup, they could name the least amount of people.
Yeah, I have no idea who they have.
Like, I mean, Cam Thomas, Michael Porter Jr. has been saying some stupid stuff about being in New York, so I know they have him.
Oh right, Michael Porter Jr. went there. Oh my god.
Yeah. Because he's been saying something like he spends like $300 a day on Uber or something. And people are upset by that. I think. I don't know.
Whom amongst us?
Well, but then someone did the math and they're like, that's like you or me spending like $2.50 a day on Uber. Like it doesn't affect him at all. So, and I've always liked Nick Claxton more than I should. Before it disbanded, he was on my longtime Dynasty NBA fantasy NBA team. So I'm a big Nick Claxton fan. Having said that, they're definitely going to be bottom 3 in the East. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Now, coming up next, I think is why you're really upset and what this really is all about. In 14th, last year they had a record of 25-57. The Toronto Raptors.
Come on.
They're still a team?
Yeah. Come on. Everybody loves the Toronto Raptors. We have Vince Carter.
How do you see your
I
team
know
doing?
You know,
Is Vince Carter? I don't think Vince Carter's on this team. I hope not, right?
No. Well, Vince Carter,
He's 54 years old.
We retired his jersey last year, and now he does like various
so you think
Toronto sports events.
You think between that and Grady Dick, it's to the moon?
Well, honestly, I watched. I mean, I have it on, but I was paying attention to the game earlier when it started, and I was thinking Porig might just be right, and I'm like an idiot because none of our starters know how to play with each other at all, and this is the first game all preseason that they've actually been able to play with each other. So we might just be in for a lot of pain, even with the addition of Brandon Ingram, who can actually score consistently and doesn't look like an idiot.
I'd like to say for the record, I read the wrong. You guys were 30 and 52 last year. You were better than I said. I read the wrong win-loss total. I want to give you guys your credit.
Oh, we won
I will
30.
say I'm looking at it and I'm like, there are easily 3 or 4 teams you could do better than.
Well, because my big point of contention was specifically being put under the Hornets and the Wizards. Because what the fuck do they have going on?
Those are the 2 teams, or like those 2 and the Nets are the 3 that I would say you're almost certainly better than them. And then if you told me one of, the Bulls, Sixers when Embiid get hurt, or the Hawks, if any of these teams tumbled and fell below you guys, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
But you're not going
to.
to.
I don't think we're gonna win it all or whatever. But like, we could tickle the play-in maybe. We could get a little close.
To be fair, 2/3 of the team in the conference make the play-in. If you count the play, make the postseason, you count the play-in. So you don't need to be that good. You got to be 10th.
Yeah.
You think you'd be 10th? All right, that's a good goal to have, I guess.
I like, you have to hope. Like, you have to believe that things are going to get better. Like, and I'm watching Scotty Barnes play just like the most disgusting basketball I've ever seen. Just like settling for the worst mid-range jumpers of all time over and over again. But I'm like, maybe he just like gets his head right. I don't know. Anything can happen. Half the East is like missing star players.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Vegas has you guys at like 39.5 wins. So they think you're going to do better.
That
That's
seems like a
me,
lot
actually.
to me. That seems like a lot.
I'm pulling this open in real time. I'm actually staring at this under 39.5 wins, and I'm clicking on it, and I'm just gonna leave that open in the tab and deal with that after the podcast. That feels a little like easy money. No offense. That's crazy. All right. Yeah. Then next he has the Wizards and the Hornets. I think we can all agree these teams are terrible. Does anyone disagree with that?
Well, I was told apparently the Wizards have made a lot of nice small moves.
I don't know what that means. They're not a real team.
This is what, like,
DJ McCollum,
Chris Middleton.
Are these guys going to care at all? Are they going to want to play winning basketball?
Like, well, that's the thing, right? Like, I can't imagine the Wizards don't just want to like lose as much as possible. Because they tried to build around like fucking Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma and had to cut bait. So, like, what are we doing?
So now it's like McCollum and Middleton are just there to kind of like mentor.
Yeah, you get the young guys some experience, and hopefully you get a pick of someone who's good.
Fair enough. Now, this is the one that I think is like, I think Pork's trying to do a little reverse jinx here. The Boston Celtics in 11th. I mean, that would be my fucking dream.
That would be awesome, but like, it's not fucking happening.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, Pat, you probably have thoughts about this.
I think he's basing on, there's no Drew Holiday, there's no Porzingis, and there's probably no Tatum for the entire season. I forget what, I think Tatum they had to cut his foot off for diabetes, or forget what the latest development there is.
But he just said he wants to play this season.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
that would be like insane organizational malpractice, I think.
It'd be awesome if he just like fights his way. He's in a walking boot and he's just like shoving people out of the way. Like, no, I'm playing.
Kota Ibushi style at the Noah show, breaks both ankles.
I think it's entirely possible that the Celtics just kind of treat this season as like, we just got to get through it and not suck too bad. And, they're going to try, but I don't know what kind of result they're going to like. They could be 11th. They could be 5th. I don't think they're going to be first. It's, I think they're just a question mark right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see them like, in the top 3 or whatever, but like at the same time, you didn't even need Porzingis to win the fucking title. And then last year They made the playoffs with him like dying of an unknown disease for most of the fucking season. So it's not like he's actually that big of a subtraction.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
still have
Oh
Derek
no,
White and
he's a
Jalen
pretty
Brown.
big subtraction. He's a big guy.
Wow.
But
Fuck off. Yeah, like I don't know. They could still. I don't get the doomerism. Like they can still probably make the playoffs. To be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I think they will make the playoffs. Like
I
I
would
think
be
they will
shocked
be.
if they don't. They have
Yeah.
they have too much talent all around, even if Tatum is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
honestly,
I
this
mean,
is crazy. I mean, I think their biggest problem is not even Tatum being gone. I think it's like I said. I know they need Porzingis, but they probably need a big guy in there that's not Luka Garza or Xavier Tillman or Chris Boucher, whoever starts at center there right now. But I still think, organizational mindset is real. I think there are winning teams and losing teams, and you just have to look at the standings from the last decade.
Yeah.
And
No, don't look at those.
oh, okay.
Just last year. Just look at
last
last
year. Well, even last year, I'm looking at it. They were 61-21. My math here tells me that's pretty fucking good. Looks like FanDuel here has them at 42.5.
I
Which
think an X factor for the Celtics too is that they have a new owner. So I think everyone in Boston is kind of like waiting to see how that really because he only bought the team in like March. So, it's a question of how that's going to have an effect on the actual like playing.
and I see Porik and I see fan talk like this, like Kevin O'Connell at the whatever the guy name is that used to be in the Ringer, like would always talk about teams blowing up and how they should blow up, and I just don't think we see teams really do that in real life. Like I think that's like a fantasy like dynasty sports thing, or like just something fans talk about online or at the games. Like teams aren't going to lose on purpose for their draft picks that often, because we see teams that do awful that get these high draft picks, and it doesn't always fix it. And I don't follow college ball enough to know, but I know there's no magic answer coming out next year that's like we should lose all our games on purpose. So I just think they're gonna do well.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, by this time last year, I think people were already talking about Cooper Flag. So, like,
Yeah.
if there was a prospect, we would have heard about it, surely.
yeah, you would think so. And in 10th, I hope this is true, the Indiana Pacers.
That would be very funny.
Yeah.
The Pacers also feel like a team that could just, like, do fine, even though they're missing Halliburton. Is that crazy?
Oh, I already forgot he was gone. I don't know.
Obviously,
I don't
you
know.
have a vendetta, but
Yeah, no, fuck that team. And I just don't like them. I think that they had their fun and that's over.
You had
they
one
were
chance.
going to win
you
the
blew
NBA
it.
Finals if he didn't explode his Achilles.
Yeah, I mean that. I just legitimately forgot that they don't have Halliburton and they don't have Turner.
Yeah, Turner went to fucking Milwaukee, so
So it's like maybe 10th is being generous.
yeah, I mean maybe.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like they were kind of giving up when Halliburton went down. It was just like,
Yeah.
all right, try again in 2 years.
So that's a team. They might blow it up. I don't know if they own their draft pick, but they might be blowing it up to just say, let's get another draft pick and let's wait until we get Hallie back. Number 9, the Chicago Bulls.
I don't like who's on the Bulls right now. Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
Who else do they got?
Voos.
Kobe White.
Oh,
Okay.
they have they took my boy Isaac Okoro.
Okay.
They seem like a team that seems destined to be 8, 9, 10, and then not win the play-in.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they could be maybe in like the Rockets type situation where they just need guys to develop for a couple more years and then they can start being a threat. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Yeah. It's, you know what? The more we go through these teams, I think you're allowed to have some hope.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm saying.
You know what? Like, if you told me of every team we're already in, if you told me that the Raptors finished above the Bulls, the Pacers, maybe not the Celtics, the Bulls, the Pacers, the
Probably
Wizards,
not
the
the
Hornets, the
Celtics.
Nets, I have no problem with any of that. Next he has at 8th the Miami Heat.
I mean, that's basically where they ended up last season, right?
Yeah, that's exactly where they ended up last season, I believe. Yep.
And like, I don't know what moves they've made, but like, I don't know, basing your whole game plan off of just like Tyler Hero is gonna be our guy. It's probably like, yeah, you're an 8th place team. Like, they added Davion Mitchell, who we had for a while, and I think is legitimately a great player and like a great defender. But I don't know if it's really gonna change that much for them.
They also have Andrew Wiggins now.
They have Wiggins. Oh.
Both of those feel like very good regular season moves.
Yeah.
They will help you get a lot of more wins. Maybe not a lot, but more. They will help you get more wins in the regular season. So they had 37 last year. Let's bump them up to 42. I don't think it helps them at all in the postseason.
No way.
FanDuel thinks I'm being generous. They have them at 38.5. All right. At number 7, the Philadelphia 76ers.
This was one that was crazy to me. Because I'm just like obviously Maxi's really good. I like Maxi. But like Joel Embiid has fucking glass bones and paper skin and gets injured constantly. And Paul George just wants to podcast.
Again, whom amongst us?
I mean, it's how much they get Embiid, and that's not a bet that you want to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Embiid's he's a faker and a crier. I agree. Number 6, Milwaukee Bucks. People seem more down on the Bucks than I understand. Not saying this is like a terrible place for them, but like just generally the vibe seems to be down on them. Where I don't know if you guys know this. There's a guy named Giannis that plays for them. He's really, really fucking good at basketball.
Yeah, he's a very good player.
And he, unlike Embiid, he plays games, which is an important part of being a good basketball player.
Yeah.
So as like a person who roots for a team who I expect to do well in the East, I worry about the Bucks. I mean, I think 6th place is probably like a 6th place with a healthy Giannis is like worst case scenario for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, obviously, like they got rid of Dame, which is big, but like Dame's not gonna play this year anyway.
And I don't think the Dame thing ever really worked like we thought it would.
Yeah, I mean he was hurt. Like Giannis, how far Giannis goes isn't like regular season if they make the playoffs. It's just like, does he have healthy, good teammates in the playoffs? Which he was the weak link health wise the year they won it. And yeah, like I think Miles Turner is like a good fit there now that they don't have Brook.
Yeah, I think Miles Turner is a huge get for them.
Yeah, we'll see if like Kyle Kuzma can play basketball again, like not physically, but like just like be a good basketball player or even like a serviceable one.
He doesn't even have to be that good. He just has to like not fuck up too much. Because if there is like one player in the league who can completely take a game over by himself, it's Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to be along for the ride.
I've seen a million games where he takes over the entire game, and he just has like 48 points and 12 rebounds and 7 assists.
Yeah.
And they might win that game by 2.
but they win those games.
And all the talk of him wanting out, I don't know how much of it I believe, and if it is real, I almost think that like a lot of times guys will play better when they want out. You know what I mean? Like they're advertising, they're auditioning, and the organization does not want him to leave. I know that for a fact, no matter what. So they're gonna try. You would think they would do whatever they could to get him to stay. So yeah, I worry about the Bucks. People might have thoughts about this team that he's number 5 or in 5th place. The Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They didn't really do much in the offseason. Obviously, Malik Beasley is under investigation for gambling. So he didn't re-sign, and they expected him to re-sign. So they
just kind of had to try and improve along those margins. Like nobody's excited about like Duncan Robinson, Michigan legend Duncan Robinson. But like
Are people excited for Karis LeVert?
Another Michigan legend.
I like Karis.
I like Karis. Like he's not always consistent, but like Karis and Robinson, you're essentially going for two guys who can hopefully recreate the million 3-pointers that Beasley had last year. And that's a tall task because he was incredible. Like maybe should have won 6th man of the year. But they're just banking on, like, they've got Ivy back, and hopefully he stays healthy and can break out the way he was looking like he was last year.
I was gonna say you guys didn't add, but my thing is, I think you have to just assume that Cade, Ivy, Duran, Thompson, that all these guys, at least most of those guys get better. I mean, they're gonna get better.
Oh, Ausar, you saw in the Knicks series how good Ausar Thompson can be, and like right now, Amen is ahead of him in his development, but that's also because Ausar missed a bunch of time and recovery time because he had blood clots, and so like he missed the last end of his rookie season, and then he was kind of ramped up gradually in his sophomore season, and then towards the end of the year, you're like, okay, yeah, this is the guy. Like he just needs to like continue being that guy. And Ron Holland, I think, is gonna be like underrated. His second year, he wasn't asked to do a ton other than just provide athleticism and energy off the bench, which he did. Along with Thompson, he needs to develop a better shot, which in Summer League 3-pointers don't matter that much, but it looked good. And I think he'll be like a huge rotational piece because he plays a very similar role to Thompson and just can guard a bunch of positions and like just a menace on defense. But I mean, like 5th place does seem okay. Because
as a Piston fan, what do you want to see out of them? Are you okay with another 1st round exit?
I'm not.
I mean, obviously you want to win. You want to win all, but realistically,
want to win. I would like at least 2nd round. And I would imagine them, if they stay healthy, they have that capability. Cade, I think now that he's got some playoff experience, is going to be even more like hungry for that. And like the Pistons played the Knicks tremendously in the playoffs. Like outside of one game that was a bit of a blowout, like all of their losses were close. They were like, when they were down, they were constantly fighting back into games, and like they're going to be a team that might not be like in the top half of the bracket, but they're the team nobody wants to play, because they're just going to like defend the shit out of you, play very physical basketball offensively and defensively. Maybe now that Cade has a reputation, he gets more of a whistle, which we haven't seen even when he was an all-star, but like the amount of times he's like following through guys in the paint and getting shots off, and not like playing like Shea or Brunson, but like finishing strong through them. Like, you would think he gets a whistle more, and that would be huge.
I will say, as a Cleveland fan, last year obviously I was wrong about Indiana, but I remember I was overjoyed when you and the Knicks and Boston were all on the other side of the bracket. I didn't want the
Yeah.
I didn't want the Pistons with the Cavs. I was like, if you can get to the playoffs, not have to play them, or if you do play them, in the conference finals, hell yeah. So I definitely think they're a scary team. Now this next team, I don't understand at all, and I just saw their win total, and this episode's gonna get me the bet. In fourth place, the Atlanta Hawks, 47.5, and Porik has them at fourth. What am I missing here? Because they have Porzingis. Is there something else?
Yeah, no, I think we've just discovered that Porik is just a huge Porzingis fan.
Apparently, so is Vegas, though. What is happening? Fourth place?
I mean, Trae Young is underrated, honestly, at this point. Dyson Daniels is a menace. Like, if they have Porzingis, he should be very helpful. Luke Kennard will be in the league for another 5 years as a guy who just shoots threes, and that's fine. And Risa Sherry is good, and hopefully he has a big jump this year. And I think he will, so that'll be big for them. But yeah, I mean, they made like those around the margins moves, kind of outside of Porzingis, similar to what the Pistons did, and like everything makes sense for the roster. They're a team that just makes a lot of sense, even if they don't have like a true superstar next to Trae Young. So I think they're going to be another annoying team.
The last time this franchise won more than 47.5 games, Trae Young was, I believe, a sophomore in high school. Maybe he was a junior. I can't do the math right now, but it was a while ago. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see it. This one I do see. Third place, Orlando Magic. I'm on the fucking I'm on the train. I'm on the hype train. People talking me into it.
Yeah, they're gonna be really good.
Yeah, I mean the only reason they didn't go higher last season is because everyone fucking tore their oblique.
Yeah, everyone on that team got hurt. And they added a guy who also gets hurt a decent amount, but is very good. And so they just have a bunch of like good young players. And they're like scary. Because like if this team gets it together like they look like they're about to do, they're going to be like very, very good. Like Franz Wagner is sick. Paolo Banchero is sick. Desmond Bane is like, he's great. Jalen Suggs, another like defensive menace. Like how do you game plan against, like, they can do so many things against you. They're all like freakishly athletic too.
It's unusual.
I
for the
originally
NBA.
was on. What's up?
I said, well, yeah. I mean, they have that over most NBA. Most NBA teams aren't very athletic.
I was against the Desmond Bain trade when it immediately came out. Just seeing that number of draft picks shocked me. But then, like, the more I just, listen to people talk about it, it's like, you know what? He is scary in that team. And sometimes you just got to fucking bite the bullet. And draft picks are sometimes made up. So just throw them all away, throw in some old guys, and get Desmond Bain. And maybe there's a, roll the dice. And all these teams we think are going to be bad. Like maybe Giannis does get hurt. Embiid is going to get hurt. And the Celtics are going to tank. And suddenly, the Magic are one of the scariest teams in the East. The only two that Pork thinks are better is number 2, the New York Knicks. Can we all agree this is a garbage team liked by garbage people?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also 53.5. Okay. Yeah, cute. They didn't even do that last year. They didn't even fucking do that last year. That's stupid. That's a crazy one. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers. You guys may have heard of them. I want you to know I'm very confident that we will win the East in the regular season.
I mean, I know preseason games don't really mean anything, but the Celtics did beat them by like 30 points the other day.
No, preseason only matters if your team wins, and suddenly it's like that's actually a pretty good indicator of stuff.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
57.5 is what FanDuel has them at.
Are you thinking more?
I think I would go over, but I think it's a very fair number. I mean, last year they won too many games. 64 is too many. That's just how I think that what we're talking about is there's not even the shitty teams in the East. I think they've gotten a little bit better. So it's just like, look, there was 3 teams that ended with less than 25 wins. I would think that's probably not the case this year. So each of those wins come off from somewhere. So the Cavs are going to lose some of the wins, but yeah, I mean, I love my Cavaliers. I think they've proven that they are a great regular season team who is maybe soft in the postseason, and I would love to be proven wrong. And I guess we'll see. I mean, we're gonna realistically, unless something insane happens, we're gonna be one of the top ranked teams. We're gonna play somebody like the Heat, or in my opinion, the Hawks or the Bulls or someone like that we can get by. But then when we have to play a real team like Pistons or New York or Orlando this year, it's like I don't have any confidence in us winning that series, and that really breaks my heart because I'm going to get really excited watching them win a bunch of games. But that is the Eastern Conference. Cole, are you as upset with his Western Conference rankings?
Not really. There's a couple things that I was just like scratching my head about, but like it wasn't obviously. I have a personal stake in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I saw where your biggest gripe was, but at 15th, he's got the Sacramento Kings. I think
I do have a question.
Okay.
How much of this do we think is Porik trying to piss you all off to distract you from the fantasy football league?
Didn't work last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't get me off my game right now. I'm on a 5-game win streak.
I have unfortunately lost to Sam, but that is my only loss.
And I believe last I checked, you have scored a significant amount of points more than the rest of the league, which seems like important. You scored 976 points so far this year. Nobody. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't even do that on purpose. Only I have scored over 900 points. But it's even that. It's 910. Like, it's way below you. Like, you just fucking blow people out every week.
Yeah, I have depth. Which in this league
is insane.
That is insane with rosters. I have depth. Like,
there's week 9. I have like 6 of my players on bye, and in this league, that means I just lose that week. Like, there is nothing I can do. Like, that is a loss, and like I'm not doing that well record wise. Like, I'm fine. I think I'm in 4th or 5th place or something. But I'm like, well, I know I have a loss coming up because we don't have enough players for me to fill those gaps. I don't know who voted for that many flex spots.
Quite a lot of people.
Yeah, democracy. But yeah, I mean, the Kings are a ridiculous franchise. I mean, Sabonis, DeRozan, Levine, Schroeder, and Westbrook.
This is the 2023 Chicago Bulls,
which did so well. Which
was a great team. I like feel bad because at first he said that, and I was like, I think the Kings probably are going to do better than that. But I was thinking, like, oh yeah, Aaron Fox got traded like almost at the end of the season last year. So like that whole record doesn't really mean anything because now it's just like DeRozan is your guy, and they just signed Westbrook, who's maybe going to be their starting point guard.
My thoughts are that they should finally trade Malik Monk to the Pistons. That man is a Piston. Like, let's just get it over with. He was born to be a Piston.
I have no idea what they would want in that trade because I do not understand how they think the game of basketball is played.
Well, there
Couldn't tell
were
ya.
rumors all off season that like they were going to make that trade, and they even had like a sign and trade with Dennis Schroeder, that allows them to like if they want eventually trade him for a player. And everyone was just like, all right, it's going to be Malik Monk, and they just haven't actually traded for a player, so who knows if will actually happen, because you can also like turn that potential player into cap space or a trade exception or down the line, stuff like that. Like, who knows? But god damn it, let's make it work. Let's make it happen.
Well, I'll do everything in my power. In 14th place, he has the Phoenix Suns, anchored by the big three of Devin Booker, Jalen Green, and Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, I feel so bad for my fellow Detroit sports fan, Devin Booker. They need to get him out of there, but also he seems perfectly fine just cashing the checks.
He's a loser.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. Like, he's a millionaire. He's an amazing athlete. He's probably one of the best basketball players of all time. And he's a loser who is very fine with losing.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
I mean, the money they're paying him, like, I would probably not care if I won or lost either.
and I mean, they do have to find like a way to make a Devin Booker trade work because of all the money they are paying him.
Yeah.
But God, that team's gonna be awful.
I don't like that team's gonna be really bad, but I feel like he's still like underrating them like slightly.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
the
Booker,
Utah Jazz. Are we really believing in the Utah Jazz?
Devin Booker he isn't like top of the league level star. Like, he's not a top 10 player, but he's like the next level. And he will, assuming he still plays hard, like,
Yeah,
he will keep them in games. But
he's good for 40 points every now and again.
Jalen Green is going to give you games where he goes off for 50. He might go off for 5 the next game.
He'll have a game with 5 is the problem.
But he's a guy.
Imagine
who can score.
if, God forbid, Devin Booker gets hurt, or they trade him for some, young players or cap relief or picks or whatever. That's an all-time bad team. If you take Devin Booker off that team.
Yeah, if you take Devin Booker off that team, they are like by far the worst. Probably the worst team if you take away their star.
Paying like $80 to watch Dylan Brooks hoops.
But you're right. I do think they probably are better than the Utah Jazz, just because the Utah Jazz, they don't have any good players, and the ones they do have, like Markkanen and Kessler, are constantly in trade rumors. So it's like, if they ever did bite the bullet and trade them, I don't know.
And I mean, like, those two very good players, Walker Kessler and Lauri Markkanen, they are not the guys you want to hear when like, oh, our top 2 players.
Yeah.
I loved Lauri Markkanen, and he was like our 4th best player.
Yeah. Like, those are guys you want at best like your 3rd option.
and they're 1-2.
I don't know who 3 is. Is it Ace Bailey already?
It probably is Ace Bailey already.
I'm looking at this. I mean, if Kevin Love found a time machine.
I mean, Kevin Love is on rosters, but like when was the last time Kevin Love was played a minute of a game?
Even on Google, if you go to like, because I clicked on team and you go to players, it lists all their players. Every other player is shown in a basketball jersey. Kevin Love is wearing a suit. Google knows. They're like, that guy's not playing tonight. In 12th, the New Orleans Pelicans. Pork is not buying into Skinny Zion.
Well, he kind of is buying to Skinny Zion because he has them at 12.
Oh, you think that's if Zion's doing well, they get all the way to 12?
Well, I'll say this: I'm ignorant on the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't really know who else they have on that team.
Jordan Poole.
I learned about Brandon Ingram when people said, "Oh, we're probably going to trade for him." It's like Jordan Poole is not a serious basketball player.
No, they do.
He's
probably
maybe the least serious basketball player of guys you can say are basketball players.
Now they have former Pistons Sadiq Bey.
Yeah.
Is that moving the needle?
Well, you like the Pelicans are my ops.
That's fair.
Because they have Troy Weaver. And they have Joe Dumars in the front office. So they're my ops, and I want them to fail.
It's funny. At first, I was disagreeing with you, Cole, but you're right. I look at this roster and I think I like Zion. I like Herb Jones. If I project them to be the best they can be, I don't know how far that gets the New Orleans Pelicans. You're probably right there. Number 11, the Portland Trail Blazers.
Portland's another one that I just don't really know anything about them. Porg said that he thinks they have a top 8 defense or something. So maybe I think that's where Scoot Henderson went when he got drafted.
Yes,
and I don't think he's done anything really.
He's not very good.
Yeah.
They're hoping he can develop into something, but right now he is not. I mean, they've got a lot of youth for a team that also has 2 of the oldest players in the game, and Jeremy Grant, who's in his 30s too. But obviously they've had a ton of high draft picks lately because they haven't been good.
Yeah.
And they've got Denis. But I mean, hopefully Holiday helps. Holiday is a guy you want around Scoot Henderson. Because
I think just in terms of development for the next however many years he's signed, that's huge.
And obviously Dame's not gonna play.
Yeah.
Unless they somehow make the playoffs and he's ahead of schedule. But
it's gotta be weird being a Trailblazers fan. Listen, I'm a Cleveland fan. When LeBron left, it broke my heart. When he came back, I fully re-embraced him. And if he came back again, I love him still, but I would just be happy. So it's weird when stars leave and come back. But it's also you have this really, really young team, but you're oh, next year, if Dame was Dame, we have Dame coming back. Is that exciting? I don't know. I don't know what he is. I don't know how he plays with a bunch of young guys and Drew Holiday. So that's just
I mean, when he comes back, he'll be 36.
Yeah.
But also when he was healthy last year, he was still the fit with Giannis didn't always work. But either Giannis was taking over a game or Dame was taking over a game. And he is still capable of playing at a high level. He was not close to washed, even though it didn't work out in Milwaukee. So I think when he comes back, it'll probably take him a bit just because of age.
but he'll at least come back to playing a high level, like somewhat high level, but that is like a year from now.
So at 10th and in the first playing spot, he has the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't know. This is a team I kind of feel like I've washed my hands of a little with the with just Ja being silly, and now they don't have Dame, and it feels almost like that we're very much in a transition, which sucks for a team that really never got to a high, which I'm sure their fans thought they were when they had Ja Morant and Dame and Triple J. But I think we've seen that this team and this configuration does not have it, and maybe that's because Ja doesn't have it because of all his shenanigans and his goofiness. But I don't know. This is exactly where I see them in the play-in.
Well, he doesn't even get into that much trouble anymore, but he just explodes an important body part once a season and is out for 3 to 5 months.
Which is almost worse than the shenanigans.
Yeah.
It's like maybe get back in the club. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't I kind of have no idea what to make of them, just because last season they started off super strong and then completely fizzled and flopped. And I'm I feel like they could just be anywhere and I'll probably believe it.
That's fair. Number 9, the Spurs.
Yeah. Probably. I don't know, it's so hard. I feel like they're one of those teams where a couple of guys could make a big step this year, and then they move up a couple spots. But I definitely still think they're at least
I think the
playing
Spurs
bubble.
I think the Spurs and their fans should be disappointed if they're the 9th seed.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, if Victor's who he's supposed to be, and they have De'Aaron Fox, and they have all those other young pieces, I don't know.
Yeah, Vassell played really good last year. Castle was rookie of the year. It should come together for them. I feel like it's still probably the play-in zone, but yeah, I don't know.
They're the team you'd if they're a play-in team of the bottom of half of the conference, that is not the team you want. That's not a team you want as a 1 or 2 seed playing as a 7-8 seed.
I mean, it feels like LeBron's 3rd year. Not that they're comparable players really, but just phenom first round picks. I mean, the 3rd year is when he really took off. So you told me this was the year that Wemby just fucking took over the league, I have no problem believing that. And if that's the case, then they could be towards the top of this list. Where were they? Number 8, Ducky's favorite team, the Los Angeles Clippers. Bill Simmons, friend of the show, recently said that them winning the NBA championship would be the funniest result possible, and I am obsessed with that now. Because you think Beal and Paul get their rings, Harden's redeemed, Kawhi with all this controversy. So now I'm on board and I'm rooting for this team. I don't think that'll happen. I think it's going to be one of those things when they're going to say, hey, this starting lineup has played 4 total games together at the end of the year.
Yeah, I assume Kawhi's problems are just going to continue in terms of his actual physical health. And that's even not if for whatever reason the league does actually find stuff and decides to punish the Clippers in whatever void his contract or whatever, then who knows what the fuck happens. But probably nothing's gonna happen, and he'll just be injured most of the season, and James Harden will have to carry the load.
If you also told me that the league took action and it was not that big of an action, but that Kawhi missed some games so he could pout, I would believe that too.
Yeah.
Number 7, the Dallas Mavericks.
Feels a little high. Like,
Um,
obviously, Kyrie is gonna
they don't
be
have
back.
Kyrie. Yeah, but late, right?
I think December or January.
Mm.
So like they could make a push. And Cooper Flag, apparently he's looked good in the preseason for whatever that's worth. Like, you know, you can never really tell how that translates to regular season, I guess, but like that is not nothing that he's a big contributor out there. And like, I mean, it's another one. The big question mark is just like, does Anthony Davis stay healthy?
Yeah, and that's almost as bad as relying on Embiid to stay healthy.
Yeah. The past few years, it's not been guaranteed at all.
Anthony Davis is like, I think he's one of those players that is only underrated or overrated. People will either talk about him like he is one of the best players of the last 30 years, like top 5, or people will talk about him like he's a bum. And I'm like, he's just somewhere in the middle there, where he can have nights and stretches where he is unbelievable, but just you can't depend all your hopes on him is just foolish, I think.
Yeah.
In 6th place, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They feel underrated. I mean, like, I guess they didn't go as far as maybe people expected them to after making the Western Conference Finals against the Mavericks a couple years ago, but like, I mean, they still fucking ate the Lakers lunch and like put out a strong showing. And I feel like specifically having the Golden State Warriors above them when the average age on that team is like 35. Like, I don't know about that one.
I mean, they finished back to back with the Warriors at 6 and 7 last year, with the Timberwolves at 6 and the Warriors at 7. But you're right. I mean, Anthony Edwards is going in the right direction, where the entire Warriors roster is going in the wrong direction age wise. So that's something. But I don't know. If you just ask me who do I think finishes higher, I think it might be the Warriors, but I don't know. I think this is right. I think the Warriors and Timberwolves right below. Actually, I think I want them to be higher, but I think you put the Lakers a little lower, and you have the Warriors and Timberwolves somewhere below the top 3 teams. Is probably where I think we're looking.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Lakers lower, at least.
I didn't realize we haven't got to them yet. That's a little crazy.
Yeah.
This next is the Houston Rockets, who
have no point guard.
It's like I said, I'm excited to watch them play basketball. I don't 100% know how to work, but it's just like there's too much talent for it not to work. I mean, you would hope they would trade for a point guard.
Yeah.
It's the only team where I think Russell Westbrook would have been an improvement, like would have been an addition.
Yeah, they're forward, like they have guys for like that can play the 3 to 5 for days. A bunch of them. You got KD, you got Sengun, you got MN, you got like Jabari Smith. But like you need people that can like run the offense unless you're putting KD at point forward like the entire time exclusively. Like you need someone back there.
As a guy who watched 2.5 Euro basketball games, Sengun's so fucking good.
Sengun is like very like one of the most underrated players in the league, probably. Just because like who watches the Rockets? Now
I'm excited for more eyes because of KD and like also playing next to KD. I'm excited for the Rockets this year.
Yeah.
A team that I am less excited for, even though they have my favorite player of all time, the 3rd place Los Angeles Lakers.
I just don't see that one. I mean, like
they have one of the best first options, and maybe the best second option in the league.
That's okay, but then after that's where I start to get in trouble.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that's where it
Austin
gets
Reeves,
scary.
a decent third option, and then
Jake LaRavia.
Dalton Connect? He's gonna make a big leap this year, or are they hoping?
DeAndre Ayton.
I mean, they've had like more unserious rosters. Like they did have fucking D'Angelo Russell. But I'm still just like, it feels like they're just riding out the LeBron years and hoping that like between him and Luka they can just brute force them to something. And according to rumors, LeBron is kind of, his patience has worn thin with that. Which is funny because I was led to believe that he's basically the GM anyways, so he's the one who was constructing this team, but
I don't like saying things bad about LeBron. I don't know that any adult male has brought me more happiness than LeBron James. That says whatever it says about my home life, but it is funny because he has made this team. He has shaped this team, and he just keeps looking around and goes, "What the fuck is wrong with this team?"
Well, yeah, we get this report like every 6 months that it's just like LeBron's sick of playing with a bunch of fucking bums, and it's like, well, why'd you hire them?
Like, you forced people out, you brought people in, like you've put them in this. I would argue that after what LeBron has made them do, this is one of the better rosters they could construct. They got fucking Luka.
Yeah.
That should not have happened. But there's also rumors that like what's LeBron his what's injured on him?
His ass.
I want to no, is it his ass? Was it sciatica or something?
Yeah, he's got sciatica and like his right glute or something.
One of my buddies is convinced that that's just code for him to like get a bunch of like steroids and HGH, and he's coming back fucking 10 years younger.
That would be
I don't
awesome.
think LeBron James needs a code to like. That's
well,
like,
he needs. You have to have a reason to not be in games.
Okay, to not be in games, sure, but to like get the HGH and shit. Like, no, he's just getting that mailed to like his cousin.
Well, I guess the
Yeah.
idea is that he's ramping it up. He's doing even more this year.
I want LeBron looking like 2017 Jinder Mahal.
Well, because the answers are either that or he's just pouting and is mad about the roster because it's
I
not
want
his
LeBron
sciatica. You know what I mean?
playing
That's not a real
basketball
thing.
like 2017 Jinder Mahal.
I mean, he probably does have some back issues, but in the way that like LeBron James would have back issues.
Yeah, it's like in a way that a guy has played the highest level of athletics for 20 plus years straight. Like, yeah, I'm sure your back hurts every single day. But like if he was happy, he'd be showing up to work. My nephew, he's a freaking 12-year-old. He hurt his ankle at the end of the first game that they've ever lost. They were losing last week. Ashland Middle School 7th grade team. They're going to do great in the state playoffs. Don't worry. But they lost their first game. He basically pulled himself out of the game. And I told him, I was like, that's an injury that hurts more because you're losing. If you're happy with your game and you're in a good mood, you just walk that off. And I think LeBron is pouting, and I hate it because I love LeBron. Every year, my dream finals is Cavs Lakers. And that's my prediction. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and loop this in with the OKC Thunder because it's like, yeah, they're probably 1 and 2. They're both fucking really good.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic, pretty damn talented player.
Yeah, decent ball player. And also, I mean, like, it was kind of addition by subtraction, getting rid of Michael Porter Jr. with the way he played last year. So,
Yeah,
like,
I don't hate Cam Johnson. They brought back Bruce Brown.
Yeah, Bruce Brown being back is big for them. Apparently, he fucking hated playing in Toronto. I did think it was funny that Bruce Brown won a title with them and then was like, I'm going to bet on myself. And then it didn't work out at all. And he's come back for like super cheap.
There's like the memes like my haters said I didn't stand a chance. A good call by the haters.
Yeah. I mean, some of it's
I
not his fault because he didn't get expected to get traded from the Pacers, but like then he just went around not giving a single fuck on the Raptors.
I actually like Jonas Valanciunas more than like I feel like the average person does, and I was
No,
excited for him to be.
I really like Valanciunas.
number
Former
two?
Raptor.
I
former
love-
Raptor.
Yeah.
Okay,
this
apparently
was
everyone
a
loves
very
Jonas.
pro Valanciunas chat.
That's awesome. But I will say, I was super pumped when I heard that first read the reports. I'm like, hell yeah, that's a great pickup. But then where there was the thing where he almost went to a Greece team.
Oh yeah, he almost went to EuroLeague.
That
He was
feels
I don't
like
give
a red
fuck about
flag.
the NBA.
Yeah.
That feels like not a great thing to hear from your new basketball player. But like
Well,
I said,
saw
I mean,
on like media day or whatever, him and Jokic were like super buddy and happy to be playing together and whatever. So maybe that got smoothed over. I don't know.
hell yeah.
Maybe they'll both go play in Greece.
Yeah,
that'd
maybe.
be fucking cool as shit. And then like I said, the Thunder also fucking awesome. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely
It's li-
fucking disgusting roster on top of having like 500 draft picks for the next 12 years.
it feels like if you told me you thought they had the best number 4, 5, 6, 7th, 8th, and 9th player in the league, I couldn't really argue with you. They're just so fucking deep.
Yeah, it is like insane. We'll see how Adam Silver tries to shut this down, because he will eventually. But right now, it's just like you've got at worst the second best player in the league, and then you've got like two guys in the top 25, and then you have like four more guys who aren't in the top 25, but any one of them is probably going to win Depoy. Like Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, like, I mean, they could Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren could also just be Depoy. Hartenstein, like, it's unfair. They can't keep getting away with it.
You can get odds without scrolling very far on 6 players from their team for being Depoy right now. This is really the all like Dan Rice gambling episode where you get in my mind. I've already looked it up, but yeah, you can get odds on any of them, and they're not great odds because it's gonna be Wemby, but they're like of the guys who could win it if Wemby doesn't win it. It's like they're all right up there. And this is like the all Dan's nephew episode, but he was just playing NBA 2K and he was like, "Who should I start a year with?" And I was like, "It's almost unfair to start with the Thunder in my NBA mode because it's just like, oh, I have maybe the best team in the league. Also next year, I get 3 draft picks in the first round, and then the following year, I think I get 3 or 4 draft picks in the first round." It's
yeah,
just,
I mean, they're broken. They're broken. I feel like we're gonna see. What I don't know. Nothing's for sure, but it feels like if we were ever gonna see like the next step of like who's gonna be the next Golden State Warriors and just like have a stranglehold on the finals for the next like 5 years, is probably the Thunder.
Yeah, you need like Jokic going crazy. You need the like LeBron going the most insane a 40-year-old man ever has. Or you need the Rockets to trade for like a top level guard. That's the only way that like you get out of the like West with anyone other than the Thunder right now.
Yeah.
Like I guess Edwards going off too. But
yeah, I mean they're like there's definitely like strong enough teams in the West that over a 7-game series could make it happen. Like even last year with Denver basically only playing 6 guys, still put up like a pretty strong fight, but They have, on the other hand, the Thunder just have so much more experience in that spot now.
It's kind of like I said with the Pistons, where it's like, even if you don't add, which they did, but even if you don't add, you're adding because all your young players are playing another year. And it's unfair. And it seems likely that one of those two teams is going to be the NBA champion. But like I said, Cavs are going to beat the Lakers in 7 for the finals. I think that's a big top, unless you guys got any overarching NBA thoughts you want to share before we move on.
People
I
should
think we
catch
covered it.
fire again, like NBA
The
Jam.
good old days.
Yeah.
They should be able to run down the court while on fire.
Let's get into some Q&AR. I'm going to skip this one and get back to it later here. The first one from Eamon for the pod. What's your favorite Gene Hackman movie? Pat, what do you got?
Favorite Gene Hackman movie? Yeah, I'm just gonna say The French Connection.
Chris?
Yeah, it's probably The French Connection. Shout out to The Conversation too.
That is
and
my
Royal
pick, The Conversation.
Royal Tenenbaums as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say Royal Tenenbaums is one where it's like I would like to say Royal Tenenbaums, but that doesn't feel like a Gene Hackman movie so much as Gene Hackman is like part of the movie.
See, I would say my top 3 are The Conversation, French Connection, Royal Tenenbaums, but then it's probably not really number 4, but I've watched a crazy amount of The Runaway Jury. Love that fucking movie. Cole, favorite Gene Hackman movie?
I mean, probably Unforgiven, because that was one my dad showed me when I was like maybe a little too young for it.
Hell yeah.
I also got shown Mississippi Burning with like a very young Willem Dafoe. That was also pretty awesome.
French Connection 2, very underrated. Popeye Doyle gets addicted to heroin.
I'm gonna say right now, I've never seen The French Connection 2.
I didn't know that
it's awesome.
existed.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's directed by John Frankenheimer.
I'm gonna watch that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's underrated. Very underrated. Enemy of the State as well.
That is a
Crimson
great one.
Tide. Good actor. Gene Hackman,
Turns
good
out,
actor.
A lot of good movies. What do you know? Nicky Oman. Hello, I have a question about U.S. politics and assume VPR is the best place to ask. If Michael Elgin ran for U.S. president, is there a chance that the media would find him sufficiently weird and fascinating that he'd get a disproportionate amount of coverage, accidentally legitimizing his candidacy? What would you suggest as a campaign slogan for his presidential run? Go ahead, Chris.
He can't run.
He's Canadian.
Yeah.
That one felt really obvious right away.
That would be the news coverage that he got, would be like Canadian wrestler with mind problems attempts to run for president, and it would be like, buried in the news cycle.
I would fucking love to hear him explain why him being Canadian isn't an issue.
Maybe that's his slogan is, me being Canadian isn't an issue. Vote Elgin. But I think even if he was eligible to run, he would go to like New Hampshire or one of those primary things, and the journalist, like, it'd be even sadder than the Jeb Bush please clap thing, because it's like,
yeah,
there would be one journalist there seemingly out of just obligation to make sure that someone is documenting this occurrence, and there would be 5 disinterested people like ignoring what he's saying.
Yeah, it's primary season, and they have like the 15th most important person on the politics beat covering him for every publication.
I forgot to mention, I did watch a little bit of the Cost of the Canvas episode 2, and I know I posted on the Discord, I believe I did, where he had proven himself innocent via a conversation with Grok.
Yep.
Yeah, he went back and forth with Grok until Grok agreed that.
It was one of those like, therefore, would you not say that?
A lot of that. He also took screenshots of all this and posted it to his Facebook, along with some screenshots of emails from people like Truth Martini and Zach Gowen and other people that he has, I guess, used for a decade to clear his name, in which he includes those men's emails and phone numbers, just doxes them to the world. On top of all that, at the beginning of the Cost of Canvas, he shouts out this conversation. He like tells people to seek it out. It's like, oh, I had this conversation with Grok, once again proving my innocence. So he is like real proud of himself. He's like, done with that.
He's so awesome.
He's really the best. Fuck, I wish he was American.
We need to get like a new like Michael Elgin booster. Like someone like Shazza McKenzie needs to come in and be like, I see nothing wrong with Michael Elgin.
I think I could be wrong. I feel like Shazza within the last 2 years has been pro Quackenbush.
Yeah, she has.
Okay, that felt real. Which, I mean, in the last fucking 2 weeks, I've been pro Quackenbush, so I don't know what I'm saying. I think the Wrestle Factory closed. I saw that on Twitter tonight.
Yeah, I did see. I saw that on Robert's Twitter.
You know, that was really cool because I don't know who ran at the end, but at one point, what was it, Crummels and Defarge, whatever that tag team name, they were running it. And they were very adamant that despite Quackenbush owning it and being the only named officer of the LLC and handling all the money, that he did not make any money off the Wrestle Factory. Which I guess is now definitely true.
I can believe that he would lose money off of it existing. That it was.
Well, I remember
the
conversation, was like, you know, if there is any money, it goes back, but there's probably not any money. But like, then you'd ask him, well, if you made money somehow from the school, would Mike Quackenbush make money? And he would just completely ignore that question and just move on.
But you know, what I think it is like, you know, Quackenbush is a smart enough guy where it's like the school probably was losing money, and then he was, as the only officer, he was like cheating on his taxes, saying like, I had all these losses from my massively unprofitable wrestling school.
Which I'll tell you what, guys, if you are doing that, just hire an accountant. I got this guy, can't name his name. He makes 7 figures. He has a stupid amount of money. He paid taxes as if he made less than 6 figures. Can't buy a house. I mean, he can, has to buy a house in cash. He was trying really, really hard to get approved for the loan, and they just couldn't do it because they're just like, you filed these all wrong. Did you hire an accountant? And he was like, no, I do my taxes myself. And he's really proud of this fact. And he did them, I guess, good for him. Like, good that he didn't pay his taxes he wanted, but like poorly, because I think there's better ways to hide it. And you can still buy houses and buy cars, and he didn't do it that way. But moving on to this, Sam D. Long time Sam D. Probably a new, I don't know. There's like a little mana tag next to his name. I don't know what that means. Long time, first time. Favorite kind of pie? I have the most boring answer for this. It's apple.
Yeah.
Did we already do this question before?
It feels like this guy's probably not even a fucking fan, if I'm being honest. Doesn't listen to the show.
All right, so my answer
I guess Cole, what kind of pie do you? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, my answer is, of course, from the WWF The Album Volume 5, I think. Pie by The Rock.
Oh, that's a great song.
It's a banger.
This podcast loves Jonas Valanciunas and Pie by The Rock.
Yeah,
a song that great to listen to with 2025 ears.
Yeah, I don't remember the lyrics, so if the song is very rapey, I apologize.
Oh my gosh. This guy asked a second question. I think he thinks he can ask how many questions as he wants. Second time, favorite horror movie featuring a witch. Oh wait, Cole. Wait, Cole. Favorite pie?
Yeah. Pumpkin pie.
That's an okay answer. I'm pretty sure we've talked about pie because I think I've told this story where Thanksgiving dinner, I was like 7. I like scarfed my food down to eat pumpkin pie, and I was like real annoying about it. I was like, I want pie. Somebody gets up and cuts me a piece of grandma's pie and slams it in front of me. I take one bite and I go, ooh, I don't like this. And the whole table's like, you little fucker, eat this pie. You've ruined our lives for the last 4 minutes. Eat this pie. And I take like 5 bites of this pie, and I'm like, this tastes bad. And someone gets up and goes in the kitchen, and grandma made pumpkin pie with pie filling that she must have had from like World War II. It was so expired. And
That's
the whole family of
awesome.
adults are just like forcing me to eat expired pumpkin pie. I still like it. Don't like it when it's expired, but I still like it. But all right, Sam D, second time. Favorite horror movie featuring a witch and or warlock? I also have a boring answer for this. I think it's The Witch. I really enjoy that movie.
Suspiria.
Okay.
But that's also
Cole?
a boring answer.
Yeah, I would also go Suspiria, but that is a boring answer.
Witchboard with Tawny Katane.
Thank you so much, Pat, for being the non-basic bitch here.
I just had a moment where it's like, I'm sure I've seen 900 shitty movies with witches and stuff, like exploitation movies and stuff. I'm just like, I'm drawing a complete blank somehow.
Okay. Our next question is a little bit of a tough one. I don't know if we all have to give our answers for every part of this, but Porik says, what you think Porik, former host, would not give us such long questions. Which NBA player would you cast in these horror archetypes? Final Girl, the Jock, the Harbinger, the Skeptic, and the Killer. Does anyone have any good shouts for any of these that like you had to do?
Anthony
say the
Edwards
rules
is
again?
the Jock.
Final Girl, the Jock, the Harbinger, the Skeptic, and the Killer.
The Skeptic is LeBron. Because he's just, like he's just standing around talking about his, team. Like, I hate playing with these guys. These guys suck. Like, he'd be the one going like, no one, I hate hanging out with these people. They're getting killed.
I think it's actually Jokic as the Skeptic, just because he doesn't want to be there long enough. Like, he thinks being in a horror movie is stupid, so he gets killed first. The Jock is LeBron.
Oh, see, for me, the Jock is Jimmy Butler.
Oh, Jimmy Butler is a good choice.
He looks like the Jock in a lot of bad horror movies I watch. The ones I thought of was him, and then I thought maybe Kawhi is the Killer. Because I think that laugh.
He's the killer.
Yeah, that laugh would be really good as like a killer sound.
That'd be really good, yeah. I feel like Kyrie Irving is the Harbinger.
Oh, that's
good. It would be awesome. It would be awesome if there was like a slasher movie, but everyone except the killer in the movie is like 7 feet tall.
The final girl is, of course, the protagonist of NBA basketball, Cade Cunningham. I don't think there's an issue with that.
I'm trying to think of better final girls, but that is like the toughest category.
Which, I think
like he's resourceful. He's fast.
I think we should bend the rules a bit here, and at the end, the killer is revealed to be Caitlin Clark.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
Okay, we have someone. Eamon asked about the Chris Jericho cruise being Big Top, and I believe we also have a question here from Porik. Was VPR offered to do a live broadcast or podcast on the cruise? And then Nick Yeoman, ideal VPR guest out of anyone on the Jericho cruise lineup. So I'm kind of gonna put these all together. I'm gonna say the cruise takes place over a year from now. I don't want to get into any sort of negotiations that may or may not be taking place. That's unprofessional.
Is it over a year? I thought it was in February or something like that.
It looks like November 7th, 2026.
Oh wow, they moved it. It was in like February before. At least as far as I remember, the amount of brain space I devote to the Jericho cruise is like near
he's
zero.
He's digging through his emails. He's like, "When is my ticket for? Holy shit! I need to get off work."
Yeah. Oh man. No, I'm gonna say as far as us being invited, the point of contact for that would probably be Sam, and Sam has been out of office for the last few months.
Feels like a year.
Yeah, so I feel like he's gonna come back and be like, oh, I got this crazy. I mean, it's too late now, but the Jericho cruise was offering us.
Oh, you're saying our email is getting filled up right now. Like they're just like, hey, we need to hear from you. Hey, we'd love to have you guys on. Please, obviously all expenses paid plus, per diem.
And then, we just got an email saying like, look, the poster's locked in. Sorry.
Oh, shit. The poster's locked in. We have Talk is Jericho, the Paranormal 60 with Dave Schrader, and Rule Breakers with Soraya. We're good.
Yeah, it's like, they had to bump us for the fucking mixologist who's on the poster.
Is Ted Irvine? Is that his dad?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's Jericho's dad.
That fucking
Yeah.
rules.
New York Rangers legend.
I feel like I look and like the ideal podcast guest is obviously Soraya, and I kind of just take a back seat and let Pat.
No. Incorrect.
Just get.
Incorrect.
Oh, okay.
The ideal podcast guest on that poster is Vampiro.
I would love to hear him lie to me.
That's
Vampiro
my
number one.
the
Bully Ray
dream
number 2.
outcome of this cruise is Rule Breakers with Soraya, where Soraya and Vampiro are in conversation for. And I feel like I would listen to it and just like feel CTE coming on with no actual impact happening to my brain.
I think if Vampiro ever came on our show, I would so fully back everything he says on it. I'd be like, no, he has Alzheimer's, guys. He told me.
Getting AJ Francis would be great. We would also bring on Kevin from the Dig Deep podcast, and we would just ask him questions about his series of matches with Cha Cha Charlie in CCW.
Well, I'm into that. I wouldn't
Is
hate
AJ
getting.
Francis the only actual active wrestler on the poster?
Just Carlito, Jeff Hardy,
Oh yeah, Jeff.
Nick Nemeth.
Natalia Markova.
Oh yeah, the
And-
NWA's own.
And then
And Victoria
I can't
Crawford.
read. I'm guessing. I don't know. Does Indy Hartwell, Lacey Lane,
Indy
Casey
Hartwell, Lacey
Catanzaro-
Lane, Casey, Ricky Knight Jr.
probably-
Okay,
the ones they write that so small you can't even read them.
Does Carlito still occasionally work a match in WWE? Because he was doing that for a minute.
I think he's
think
gone.
he's- Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
he's
didn't
gone
he
now.
get let go?
He got let go, and then immediately it was like, guys, don't be mad. I made $1 million. Like he had the coolest post about it, where he's like, it doesn't matter, guys.
Okay, he's gone back to working the Carlito style indie showings.
I
Is it
think
in
he's-
poor
he's-
taste if I have Brad Williams on the podcast to discuss midget warrior wrestling?
No.
Okay.
Shout out Red Cup Jeff, the Mr. Mixologist of the cruise.
Yeah,
we
that's what
love
I'm
Red
like,
Cup Jeff.
How is that a billing on the poster?
Also, I love, like, for the Rock and Roll Party, Fozzy, obviously the top build next to the Iron Maidens, who I assume are an Iron Maiden cover band. But third on the line after Quarantine with a Ketty and Guardians of the Jukebox is Downstate, which crazy how, like, on a wrestling cruise, the band that if there is a band that Downstate can if there's a show Downstate can headline, it's this, because they did wrestler themes.
Well, it's even crazier that on the line below them is Jeff Hardy's band.
Oh, that is funny. He's a VIP, but his band's like 7th from the top. They also just list dueling pianos. We're just gonna have dueling pianos. Make sure you know. Man, all this could be yours for, I'm gonna guess, the low price of $9,000.
I feel like this is going to be the cruise equivalent of like going to like an indie show in a high school gym that is booked like Greg Valentine for some reason in 2003.
All right.
Yeah,
At least starting
at
at
least in the past.
$1,400 actually.
Oh shit.
Like, at least in the past, they were running like AEW dark shows. Like, they didn't have like big AEW talent. Like, they would get a few mid-carders and Jericho. and then a bunch of guys on like the undercard.
You got
But
like
this, what
you got
matches are you
Curryman's-
getting here?
You got Curryman's retirement match. But no, you're right. Before, like, I feel like Mark Briscoe and Bandito were there. You know what I mean? So you're seeing some cool wrestlers. But yeah, you're right here. You're like, oh man, I really hope they put Nick Nemeth against Carlito. Is that what's the best match you could book from these names?
Jeff Hardy versus AJ Francis versus Vampiro.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, no, the issue is that unless you have a company that can like you can hook with and say like, okay, you pay your roster to bring, you have to figure out who can take a week off their day job, because Jericho's not going to be paying them top dollar to, hang around on a cruise for a week. I mean, I think that most the pay is probably, hey, here's a free cruise.
I mean, he's not paying top dollar; he's paying top dollar.
That's true.
Also, podcast guest, none of us are on. It's just Sam is miraculously on, and he's just talking to the Great Muta, his favorite wrestler.
His favorite wrestler. It's only about the retirement match. Goodbye, Muta.
Tanner's also on that podcast. We're sending Sam to hell.
All right, now this poor question again. I don't like. Listen, I love our fans, our millions and millions of fans. I don't like when they get in our business. Porrick, why didn't VPR make a move for Westbrook? Don't assume that we didn't.
Yeah, like we tried, and then there was that report that like a Chinese team was going to pay him like a crazy amount of money to go to China, and I'm glad he found an NBA team. I love Russell Westbrook. Like I just want him to be happy, but Westbrook in China would be the greatest thing that ever happened. He would be scoring 80 points every night. But yeah,
I mean,
they outbid us.
They don't know. Like we're trying our best, but we only have so much in the budget. And he was excited to do a Chikara retrospective podcast. Don't get me wrong. But he wasn't on board as much as he was for playing basketball. That was more his goal. Ducky says favorite M&M that isn't one of the normal ones, and also pick a color.
Like,
so I guess starting out, what type of M&M
I think those were the same question.
No.
But now
I think he's saying
what are the
pick your favorite
non-normal color of M&Ms?
No, he's saying like peanut M&M, fudge brownie, crunchy cookie.
No. The colors of M&Ms.
I can't imagine. They're just. I mean, green's my favorite color.
I genuinely think that's the question: is what which color M&M is your favorite color?
I mean, if that's a question, my answer is green.
Well, I think green is one of the normal ones. So.
Well, what is?
Yeah, green is
what
are
the non-normal colors?
That's why I'm looking up, trying to figure out what are the non-standard M&M colors.
I think there's only like I guess like there's like the 5 or 6 normal, and then you can get like
red, orange, yellow, green, blue, brown. Those are the.
Oh, so there's 6.
Purple. My favorite color that isn't one of those is purple.
I really enjoy. This is not a joke. I really enjoy the pink pastel Easter color.
Yeah, and I think that's where they've got like the light purple pastel color.
Yes. Yep. Cole, get in on this. Give me your favorite.
Oh, fuck, man. I don't know. What are they? What's another weird color? Do they do black M&Ms?
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
Probably in their Halloween mix.
Oh, yeah. So non-standard.
Called
there we go.
D12.
That's a good one. You got me with that one.
All right.
Shout out to Bizarre.
Big
Ford
shout out to
posted
Bizarre.
one of those memes where you had to spend a bunch of money. It says make the most twisted and sickest cult film with $1,000. And then you guys feel the need to do this?
I'm looking at it right now. Okay, so $1,000. Director David Cronenberg, lead actor Joaquin Phoenix, lead actress Rosamund Pike.
I would go.
The combination of Cronenberg and Joaquin Phoenix, just you could have a broom as the lead actress.
See, I confirmed that Margaret Qualley was the bottom because I couldn't really see because of stuff on top of it. So I'm going to spend $200 on her, and we're going to use the other $800. I'm going to take her on a date, talk about maybe her husband can come. We can talk about Taylor Swift.
Someone should have to film it though, and it would be fucking fucked up.
Be pretty fucked up. She'd be having a bad time, especially if her husband doesn't come. And I'm like, can you text him about Taylor? I don't want her to text Taylor. That's too close to the sun for me.
Yeah, it's a little invasive.
Yeah.
You got to start off easy. Be like, what was it like being sampled on a Lana Del Rey song?
Dan doesn't ride for Lana like that. He would never ask that question.
Well, that's why I don't.
I like Lana. She's not one of my enemies yet until she crosses the queen. Charlie, she's out of here.
I would go Lynch, Mads Mikkelsen, and Margaret Qualley. I think that would be a very good movie. Unfortunately, David Lynch is dead.
Minor roadblock.
I mean, it would be a very sick and twisted movie to have a dead guy propped up in the director's chair the entire time they're filming it.
Yeah, somehow still smoking cigarettes.
I'll go Cronenberg, Mads Mikkelsen, and is that Nicole Kidman?
Yeah.
In the second
I'll
column,
take Nicole
yes.
Kidman. Yeah, I'll take Nicole Kidman. Freshly divorced, maybe she'll get really into the role.
All right. This is Sam D. Another question. Question for the pod. Any good pods? There's been 2 in a row. Chromat.
I mean, I spent like an hour at the start of the show plugging the Manawa and the Reed Bentley thing. So yeah, Sam, go listen to that.
That's true. Also, any pod that appears on this network. Cole, do you listen to any other podcasts besides this one?
No. I mean, I listen to QNTR, which everyone knows about.
Chris?
I would never listen to a podcast.
That's the right answer. Chromat. Oh, I had another Westbrook question. How would you make current Westbrook work on your horror basketball team? I think, and this is how he should play in real basketball, I think he's a great 6-man. I just think he can't make the starting lineup on my team. There's just no room for him, but he could be 6-man.
I mean, great to have a point guard around that's not 1 foot tall.
Yeah, I think 6-man is because all of our teams had some glaring, like Boric had an 85-year-old man with brain cancer on the court. So having Westbrook handy to.
I can say for sure that Westbrook also knows the rules of basketball, which I'm not sure about a lot of the players. That's going to be important.
Yeah.
He's going to be, hey, Freddie, take the gloves off. Dribble the ball.
When all of our starting lineups get immediately suspended for the entire season within 30 seconds of play beginning, it'll just be Westbrook out there by himself, just, doing layups, showing off for the crowd.
Okay, I think that is our final question of Q&AR. Cole, thanks for coming on. When is the next time you're going to be in the lab? You watched a lot of wrestling, so I got to imagine soon.